Hello stamping friends, welcome to Birdsnest Designs. My name is Denise Cox and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Canada. And today I am here to film this video to show you how to make this really fun fold. It's super simple, but I just love creating cards that have a different fold to them. The featured stamp set today is Flowering Tulips. This is the March Stamp of the Month for my Stamp of the Month club. And this is one of the cards that'll be included in the kit. So as a member of the club, you do get 3 cards, and every month I do one video for the one that's either a technique or a fun fold for the month. So let's get started. The Flowering Tulips stamp also has coordinating dies. The tulip dies right here. So these are available in the January to June 2022 mini catalog, and this is the gorgeous Flowering Tulips bundle. All right, so here's the card we're going to create. Let me just get the pieces out here. This is all assembled. This is how the kits arrive to my members. So we've got an array of products here. We've got a pool party card base. Now a card base that's unusual is it's just one single sheet. It's not a fold. So we've got pool party, which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then we have a piece of this beautiful polka dot Poppy Parade designer series paper that's part of the Flowering Fields package, which is also part of the suite you can buy, including this month's bundle. So, oh, that didn't work. Let me just attach this onto our card base. And I love the color combination of Pool Party with Poppy Parade. It's also very nice with real red. Pool Party goes well with red in general, in my opinion. So, okay, now we have Poppy Parade. This measures 8 1/2 by 2 1/2 wide, and it's scored in half at 4 1/4. So we're going to just fold that on the score line. Okay, and then I'm going to give that a nice crisp fold using my bone folder. Okay, so also in the kit there is a 2 1/4 2 1/4 by 4, I drew a blank, piece of basic white. Now that's going to be for the inside of this little folding card. So this is where you can write your little greeting or your little handwritten note. So let's go ahead and attach that to the inside of the card. Like so. All right. And then we can attach this gorgeous, absolutely beautiful tulip pattern paper, which is also part of the Flowering Fields Designer Series pack. So we're going to attach that to the front. Nope. That's my mouse, not my adhesive. Okay, so let's attach that. We're just going to center that on here. Perfect, just like that. Okay, so now what we can do is we can go ahead and attach our card to the base. So when I do that, I want to have about 1/2 inch over here. And of course I have my centimeter side of my grid paper here. So that's okay. We're just gonna have it a little bit more than that, right about there. So that's 3 blocks on my grid. Let me just attach that. You want to make sure you get quite a bit of glue on here. You don't want this to, oh my goodness. You don't want this to fall off when your recipient's opening their card. That wouldn't be very good. So make sure you have lots of adhesive on the back. And then we're just going to attach that, and it's going to line up flush with the top of the pool party, and it should line up flush with the bottom as well. Okay, so there is our fun fold. So it's just really simple, just a little bit different. All right, so next what we want to do is on the scalloped rectangle die cut, which came from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, which is my absolute favorite go-to set of dies in the current catalogs. We're going to stamp on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our greeting, and I've chosen Love You So Much, and we're going to stamp that over here in the left. Sorry, in the right corner. And I want to start with the sentiment over there so that I can make sure it's going to fit, because I don't want to stamp my my greenery over here and then find out my sentiment isn't going to fit. So let's start that first. That's not looking very inky. Let me just sample that on my scrap paper here. So if that ever happens to you where it looks like it's not quite inking properly, then just test it out on your sample. It's looking like this may need to be re-inked. So we're gonna interject this little video here, and we're gonna quickly re-ink this ink pad. So anybody who's not sure how to do that, well, I'm gonna show you right now. So we're just using the ink refill. Just squirted a bunch of ink on there. Okay, the first thing you wanna do is you do wanna double check that your ink refill matches your ink pad. I've done that before. That wasn't very good. I had soft suede ink on my crumb cake ink pad. Needless to say, I had to replace that. So then I use my bone folder, just the end of the bone folder, to just smear that ink all in here. And then just a tissue or a rag to just wipe that excess ink off. The other thing that you can use is you can just take one of our blocks, so a clear acrylic block, and you can just drag that across too. And that gives it a nice even thing. Okay. And then you can just wipe that ink right off your ink block as well. All right, so having done that, this should stamp better. So let's just go like that, just double check. Yes, okay. So back to our project. Let's get some ink on here. All right, so we've got our love you so much greeting. And then using Old Olive, I'm going to stamp the stems and the leaves, like you can see on this card here. So I'm going to start with the stem, and I'm just going to sample it over here, make sure I can see. Okay, so on the stem you can see that there's one part that looks open and there's one part that looks closed. I'm using the closed end as the top of the flower, so I'm just going to stamp it on an angle here. And you don't need to worry too much about whether it goes too high, because we are going to put the die cut tulips over top, and we can always scooch them down. So there we've got the stems, and now we're going to use both sides of leaves. So I've got both of them here mounted on blocks. And I'm going to start with the one on the left, and I'm just going to stamp it. And you can see that I'm stamping off of my project. So I just want a little bit of the leaf coming up here. And then for the second one, I'm going to do similar, but I do want this one to be longer. There, and just kind of scooch it over, stamp. Perfect. Okay, so there we've got our stems and our leaves. Get rid of this. Okay, so now what we want to do is assemble this onto here. So what I'm going to caution you is that you want to make sure that your adhesive is only on this section, because if you get it beyond that, you're going to now glue your card shut, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to use just a little bit of my multi-purpose glue. And the reason I'm doing that is because it does have a little more wiggle room once it's down, in case I don't get it quite straight. So you can see I've just put it on the one edge. And I'm just going to flip it over. Get it lined up. I'm going to double check that the adhesive isn't sticking through. Perfect. Okay. And there we go. So now to assemble these tulips. So in your kit, if you remember, you've got 4 pieces of the tulip already cut out. So you've got 2 like that. That's going to create one tulip. And then you've got these two here, and that's going to create a second tulip. So watch how I do this. I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. So I've got both mini and the regular ones aside here. And to start with, we're going to just fold on the score lines that are already included. So that happened when I cut them out. The score lines and that little faint embossing was already there. Okay, so you can see here when I fold this one up that the front looks like this one here. Okay, and then we're going to fold the second one, same thing on the fold lines. If we twist it over, now that's going to be the inside of this tulip. So we're going to then stick this one inside to create a really nice 3D tulip. Okay, and I'm just checking how I've done this. So what I did, just want to make sure I'm not leading you guys astray. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of my multi-purpose glue on this one here. And then I'm going to close it up just to give that, oh, I have to just hold it there for a second. All right, so then we're going to take the outer shell part like that, and we're going to put a little bit of glue again on the back of the one we just glued shut, and we're going to stick that in here. Now you can kind of situate it based on how you want it to look. Okay, hold that shut, and then we're going to take a mini Stampin' Dimensional, and we're going to stick it on the inside of this right hand flap, and we're going to stick it shut. And what happens is that now creates a little bit more layering, and it also will hold this small side shut. So there's one. Now the second one is not, it's only one piece that needs to be folded. So this one goes together a little easier. So this one we're going to fold. Be very careful because as you can see, there's just a small little space there. So we've got that one folded. And then this one is just simply going to go inside. Twist it about however you want it to go. I can twist it this way. So I'm going to do mine kind of like that. All right, so there's how our tulip is going to end up. So to do that, I'm going to use dimensionals again. So this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up, and on the inside insert, I'm going to put one dimensional down here. And then I'm going to stick that in here. And then I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to put another dimensional over on this side. So for this one, I've only used the minis so far. Okay, so there we go. There's our beautiful 3-dimensional tulips. So now what I want to do is attach these to my card. So if you're not mailing this card and you're going to hand deliver it, you could attach these tulips with Stampin' Dimensionals again and give it even more height and dimension. But if you want to put this in the mail, I suggest you just glue them down because you don't want to have to pay extra postage. So I don't know what I'm doing with these cards exactly yet. So I'm going to just glue them down. And like I said before, you can move them down the stem or up the stem however you like to make them fit on your card. Oh, a little close. That's why I like the multi-purpose glue, because you could see how I could just kind of twist it there and get it exactly where I wanted it. So now I'm just going to add some bling, and I'm going to add some rhinestone basic jewels, but I'm first going to color them. So I'm going to use my dark Pool Party blends, and I'm just going to color a random assortment of colors here. Oh, this doesn't look like it's. I'll have to use this end because that end didn't seem to be doing much. Maybe there's that one. I think I might need to replace my blends. I do use them very, very often, so we're gonna just color. I don't even know if you guys can see that in the video here. It's so faint, but just see something here. Okay. So we can then take a pick tool or whatever you use to take the gems off. We're going to stick them up here. You can really not even tell that I've colored them because let's try that again. Now I do not suggest you do this at home because if I slip, it's going to get pool party on my paper. But there we go. All right. So there it is. There you have it. There's our beautiful fun fold card. Perfect for spring, which hopefully is just around the corner here in British Columbia, I'm hoping. It is cold and a little bit snowy here today, but here's hoping that ends soon. So thank you all for watching. I will have a complete list of all of the supplies I used in today's video in the description of the tutorial. So go ahead and check that there. You can click on any of the links and it'll take you right to my online store. And you can purchase any of these products that you'd like to add to your stamping stash. So thanks everybody for being here. Have a wonderful weekend and happy crafting. Cheers.